Hey Airsofters, how are things? Fox Green back here again. This time I'm looking back at my Ssp-1 and this is going to be my modification video. So for those of you who haven't seen my previous video, I did a general review on this gun, and when I first got it I had my doubts about it. Things were didn't seem to work very good, certain things anyway, and I just put that down to having the first batch. But seeing as I modified this gun and got it back around shooting at the 1 joule zone with the CO2 mags, I decided to give it a run in some games, and you know what, it's loosened up and it's freed out really well. So as you know from my initial review, this gun was shooting around 1.2 to 1.3 joules. Okay, so yeah, just what I've seen before. It was 1.29 with 0.25. That was with the CO2 mags. Now these are advertised on Novritz's website to shoot actually at 1 joule, and the green gas are meant to shoot at 0.8 of a joule. Now I didn't buy any green gas mags because I was interested in a purely all-round gun, so a gun that I could use in the winter. So as we all know, CO2 is better for that. So when I got this gun, the first thing I did in that video was chrono it, and I was getting 1.2 to 1.3 joules as I said. So way too hot for Ireland, where all guns had a 1 joule limit. So what I decided to do is modify this gun. Now there's lots of ways to modify a gun, and people probably won't always agree with the ways you do it. There's more than one way, and I've identified kind of 3 ways of doing it. But this video is only going to look at 2 ways. So without further ado, before we get into it, I'd like to say, look, this is a bit of a disclaimer. What I did to my gun would void warranty. You are permanently changing a part. Now with that said, this gun is essentially a KJ Works gun, and a lot of Tokyo Marui high kappa parts will actually work in this gun also. So what I modified was actually the gas chamber. Now with that said, modifying the gas chamber is fine, because I know I can get a replacement one no problem from KJ Works or even Tokyo Marui high kappa. So that's good to know. So I'm not too worried about damaging a part, given that I can actually repair it again. So the second modification method is purely with the magazine. Again, it's permanent modification, but to do with the valve here. But interestingly enough, again, you can quite simply replace the valves. Now I bought some replacement valves on Amazon, as you can see here. So these are very good, high quality valves. They're exactly the same as the Ssp-1. These are KJ Works valves. And very importantly, I bought a valve key. Guys, do not try to open these without a valve key. I made the mistake already. Opened it tried to get like a screwdriver, damaged it, and as a result got a leaking valve. But anyway, got these 2 guys for about $3.99 each on Amazon and replaced it quite simply. But learnt my lesson. So let's get into how I modified it. The main modification that I did, the first modification, is actually going to be to do with the gas chamber. Now you might say, oh right, how small is small? Does it need to be? Because obviously if you go too big, you'll vent too much gas, the gun might cycle, might jam up. So what I did, which is very simple, to decide what small is I got a paper clip, very small paper clip. So you're talking about a 1 mil diameter paper clip. And all I did is I simply attached it here to pliers like this, like so. And I heated this guy up, as you can see, till it gets red hot. Now it doesn't take much for this to get red hot. After a few seconds you'll see that that's already starting to glow. So I simply took that then, opened up the chamber, and actually on your Ssp-1 you might notice that there's this actual circle on the gas chamber. That's exactly the location I went in to put the hole. Do not put the hole anywhere further up here, because inside this part of your gas chamber you actually have a spring, and if you poke a hole through that you'll interrupt how that spring operates. So the only place to put your hole is exactly where this small circle is in the smooth part of your chamber. 1 hole, that was it, no more. with just that, so I heated up, popped it through, absolutely nothing else. That is all I did, and that worked out perfectly to vent the gun back down to 1 joule. So after making that gas chamber modification, as you can see now, this gun is empty, right? Completely empty. Just showing you, because I'm not putting on my glasses for this one. This one is completely empty. So as you can see, after doing that modification, the gun will run absolutely perfectly. Still incredible kick, incredible noise, but in general functions absolutely perfect. Now I'm going to show you with that modification what the gun chrono is at now. So as you can see, there, it's varying around anywhere from 0.9 to kind of 0.7. So as you'd expect with doing a modification like this, you get some fluctuations with gas, but it still seems to perform very well, as you'll see now in the video footage. Okay, so guys, as I said, this video is going to go through 2 methods. That's the method I use, and it worked perfectly. And as you can see from the chrono test, this gun is working absolutely amazingly. And since I gamed with it, it has been performing perfectly. Now, the end of this video is actually going to have my first 2 games out running this gun since I modified it down to 1 joule with the CO2 mags. This thing was nearly better than my SSG. It was absolutely hitting, it was nailing people with single shots to the head, just at really good distances. So this gun is now my primary gun. I've since upgraded and I bought 3 mags, so now I have 3 mags, so this is my primary gun from here on out. This thing is absolutely amazing now. So as I said, as I promised, this will look at the second method, and it's going to involve your magazine, modifying these actual gas valves. So if I take these out, guys, what I'm going to show you is, so first things first, I bought a valve key. You have to buy one. Don't take it out, as I said earlier, without using a valve key. You just damage it, and this little part here, as you can see here, this is the part that moves. That won't move if you open it with anything else. It'll just get clogged up. So what I did is I bought new valves because I didn't want to wreck the ones that are in the gun. I said I'll test it on new valves. So KJ Works valves, got them on Amazon. I took out one of these valves and just eyed it up. Just found one that looks exactly like it, and it happened to be perfect. And what I did, guys, so as you know, in these airsoft guns, when you pull back your hammer and you actually pull the trigger, you get a little bit of, it's kind of almost like a firing pin in a real gun. It slides forward and it hits this valve on the back of your mag. As you know, right, that pushes that valve in a predetermined distance, which vents an exact amount of gas. Now, what you want to reduce your reduce your gun's joules is for less gas to come out of that mag and into your gun. Now, you only want to change that by a minuscule amount, so this is a very fine art. What you need to do is you need to reduce the length of this, you essentially need to wear this little striking part down, so that it's not actually able to, when it strikes it, it's not able to push that in quite as much. So the best way to do this, and the safest way, is, as I said, buy just spare valves. Then you need to get a really fine grade sandpaper. Take the valve out and maybe sand it, maybe say 20 times. That should probably remove just a very small amount of metal off the back of it. If you really want to fine tune it like perfectly, maybe do it less, do it 5 times. Put it back in, put in a fresh CO2 cartridge, put in your BBs, and chrono the gun again. And you'll see that your FPS or your joules will lower. And you take it out and keep doing that until you get it absolutely the sweet spot. Now, it does work. I tried it with one of these valves and it works absolutely perfectly. And it's kind of no different to kind of having a big spring in your gun and chopping a little bit off to reduce the power. And you know, it's just refining exactly the amount of gas that is going into your gun to fire it. So that's the second method, guys, and I suppose that one's a little less harmful. But as I said, if I did mess up the first method with the chamber, I can easily buy another KJ Works chamber. But the one that's actually used in the SSP1 is a reinforced one. It's reinforced, it's extra thick. So even though it's a KJ Works gun, he has put a lot of kind of upgraded parts into it, so it is a brilliant gun. And my god, the hop-up is absolutely incredible. And in my opinion, the best airsoft guns always have incredible hop-ups. That's what sets the top guns apart, is really good hop-up. So guys, I hope you liked that video. I'm now going to show you my airsoft footage. I hope you really enjoy it.
Love it. I love it. On a spot.
Hit. We almost here.
Guys, before I go, I'd like to thank Mangi for sending out his patch in the post to me. Check out his YouTube channel. Also like to thank Rattler Actual, team I recently joined. Check him out on Instagram. And Airsoft Banter Ireland, I'd also like to thank for sending their patch to me. As you know, guys, I've recently released my own patch, Fox Green. Sold the first batch of 40 of these, and I'm really happy. I hope everyone likes them. So guys, I hope you liked that video. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do so and hit that notifications button. Thank you.